when you're talking to people for the first time, they're really not experienced about Florida, living here. Do you ever recommend, well, maybe you should rent for a year before you buy? What's your kind of feeling about renting versus buying timing?
I I mean, I could totally be biased, right? Because I'm such a
Sure.
strong believer in home ownership that if it were me, I'd have a hard time renting ever again. And I haven't since I was 20 years old, bought my first townhome, right? So I've
Right.
owned forever. And and so I think it goes down to how much do they know about the area? How settled in? Um, do they have a family? Do they have kids that need to go to school? But has anyone called in and said, "Hey, I want to buy a home. I'm ready to buy," and I'm like, "I think you should rent." I No.
No.
Um, but have clients called in and we've pre-approved them. They're like, you know what? We got down there. We finally looked. We're a little torn. I think we're going to rent for 6 months or a year because we just want to make sure the school district is where we want our kids to be. We want to make sure that the area we're moving to is the life we want to live. Um,
Sure.
100%. 100%. Can you blame anyone? Absolutely not.
No.
But in the Florida market, with the exception of the '08 crash, a little bit of pullback from the peaks of 2023. There's been very few times where if you didn't get into the market, you really benefited over 5 years in the Florida market.
Got it. What what are some of the regrets that you've heard? Have you heard any regrets from people who've bought a home 12 to 24 months after they've done the transaction? Have you heard anything about that? And any learnings?
Well, I will preface it with we try to stay in contact with our clients, but not everyone calls and tells me, what's going on with the hundreds and thousands of families we've helped.
Right.
What I would think has happened is someone moves here, they get relocated, they got to move after 12 months, and now they're losing money. Even if the market went up 3 or 5%, you got to pay costs to get out of a home, right? So you could have some negative effect from that. Um, that same story as far as someone moves to, let's say Abacoa here, where my office is at. It's where Roger Dean Stadium is at for the St. Louis and Marlins spring training.
Sure.
There's a lot of families here. It's a mixture of families, retired clients, and but someone could get here and be like, you know, this is terrible during spring training. There's a lot of kids running around and we want something quieter. Or they could get here and be like, this isn't enough. I want to be downtown West Palm Beach. And so that moving to the state and not understanding the areas of the pocket, I think probably would be one of the biggest, regrets.
Got it. Got it. Because
That
one
in
of
school,
the
in schools, sorry about
schools,
that. Schools. Yeah.
right.
You think you're going to a good school, you get there and you realize, oh, what? I don't like this school. And now you're in private school or something
Right.
like that.
Which is another added extra cost for sure.
Correct.
Right.
Absolutely.